Okay, hi, my GED Math students. I just wanted to give you a look at where I am zooming from today. We're going to be talking about surface area. Beautiful place, huh? Here I am out on the porch, bundled up because it's like 40 degrees out here. We're going to start talking about surface area. The papers that I'm going to send you have to do with surface area, and the information that I'm going to give you today will, you should be able to do pages 1 through 7 in the packet. Now, the packet that I'm sending to you is going to have 16 pages. Don't freak out, because these 16 pages are going to cover all of this week and part of next week. We're going to be talking about surface area. Today, we're only going to talk about surface area of prisms, rectangular prisms. We're going to talk to you just exactly what surface area is, but later on in the week and next week, we can find the surface area of triangular prisms, of pyramids, of spheres, of cylinders, everything that we were able to find volume of, we're going to be able to find surface area. Now, I want you to understand what the definition of surface area is. It is the area that is on the surface. So think right here, we talked about rectangular prisms when we were finding the volume. And the volume of a rectangular prism was how many of those little cubes we could make fit inside, or how much a rectangular prism holds. But now when we're talking about surface area, that is only the area on the surface. So what I like to think of when I'm talking about surface area is, if I were to paint the outside of this box, I would paint this side, the back side, this side, the top, and the bottom. Okay, I'm not going to pour paint in so that this fills up with paint. That would be volume. But the part that I could paint, just this flat surface, is called the surface area. Now, the surface area of a prism is where we find the area of the front, then we find the area of the back, find the area of the two ends, find the area of the bottom, and find the area of the top. Okay, and so what I like to do, the way I learned this in the beginning, was let's put this in pieces. Let's just tear the box apart. And here is the top. And the bottom, can you see the bottom of the box is going to be the exactly same size. Exact same size, not exactly. Then we have the little sides right here and here. Okay, so this is the side. This is the side. Then we have the top and the bottom. The top goes here, and then the bottom here. And so when we get finished, top and bottom should have been the front and the back. Sorry. Front and the back. When we're finished taking this box apart, we should have 6 separate pieces. Y'all see? And so the surface area will be found by simply finding the area of this one. Area equals length times width. Area equals length times width. Area equals length times width. Length times width. Length times width. 6 little short problems right here, finding the area of each piece. And when we do, we just add all of the areas together. Okay, that's called the surface area. Now we'll come back and figure this in just a minute, and we will actually use, gosh, I hope I brought my formula chart. I am going to pause the recording a minute and see if I have my formula chart with me. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I had to go find my formula chart so I make sure that we use the formula that you're used to. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to talk to you about what the first couple of pages in your worksheets are going to look like and give you the definition. The first thing they're going to do in your worksheet is they're going to give you some prisms. And then they're going to mark these off like the worksheets that you had for the volume. Beautiful art here. I hope you'll get the idea. Okay, and then they would. All right. Your paper is going to look something like this. And so what they're going to ask you to do is just count what the surface area is. Now this looks similar to your volume pages that you had, but you are not counting all the blocks that are inside. You're counting simply the squares that are on the surface. That will be surface area. Surface area. So in this case, for the first and second pages of your packet, they're simply going to ask you to tell them what the surface area is here. So for the front, we're just going to count how many boxes they drew on this prism. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So on the front of this prism, there are 56 little boxes that they drew. Now, if you could see the back side of this, do you understand that it would be exactly the same? So the back side of this, if you would count all the boxes that they drew, remembering that we are not counting anything that is inside. We're simply doing the cover, just the flat part. So the back side of this would have 56 squares on it also that were drawn. Now let's talk about the side. Over here on the side, we have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 times 7. On this side, they have drawn 21 boxes on this side. So we know that the other side of this prism has to be the same. And so that side is also going to have 21 boxes. Do you see what I'm doing so far? Yes, we do. Okay, and now I need the top and the bottom. So on top, I'm going to look and try to count how many boxes somebody drew on this prism. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 by 3. So 8 times 3 is 24. So whoever drew the boxes up here drew 24 boxes on top. And you know that the bottom is going to be exactly the same. So on the bottom, I also have 24 boxes. Okay? So the surface area of the front only is 56 square units. The back is this, the top. So if I want total surface area, I total the numbers. I take 56 plus 56 plus 21 plus 21 plus 24 plus 24. And so right now I have 12, 13, 14, 18, 22. Carry 2. 10, 14, 16, 18, 20. Hopefully your calculator came out with the same number, but what we're doing is adding the area that we found for the front. We're adding the area that we found from the back with the sides and the top and the bottom, and this will give our total surface area. Now remember, whenever we talk about area, area is two-dimensional, okay? And so if these were inches, we're going to have inches squared. Now, up until now, we did volume, and volume was three-dimensional, so our units were cubed. But here we're finding surface area. Area is squared. So the total surface area of this prism right here is the part that we could paint, just the boxes that are drawn on the outside of this prism. And we found out that we find the area of each piece, add them up, and this would be our answer for the total surface area of this prism. Hopefully that's clear. And the first 2 pages in your worksheet will have you doing these type of problems. You're only going to be dealing with rectangular prisms. We'll deal with triangular prisms when I get back. Okay, now the next couple of sheets show what we call a net. A net. And what that amounts to is when we took the geometric solid, in this case a prism, and we took it and cut along the seams and laid it flat open. I'll try to draw this. So let's say the prism, when we cut it apart, looked like this. Can you see that this is the bottom? We cut the prism apart. This is the side. This is the side. If we put the box back together, this will be the front, and this will be the back. This, when we break the prism up and lay it flat, it's called a net. Now, what they're going to do on pages 3 and 4 of your work packet that I send to you, they're going to show you the net rather than the prism put together. And then they want you to find the surface area. You're going to do it exactly the same way. In this case, they may have 5 inches here, 2 inches here. So if that's 2 inches, when it's put back together, this has to match. So of course, this is 2 inches. And top, let's make this 4 inches. So this one has to be 4 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. This has to be 5 inches, 5 inches again, because all this stuff has to fit. And again, 5 inches. 4 inches will go up there, and it'll meet there. I think I drew it correctly. I'm pretty sure. And this will be 2 inches here. All right. Now, in order to find the total surface area of this, let's find the area of this rectangle right here, okay? The area of the back rectangle, remember it's length times width, right? Length times width equals the area of a rectangle. Length times width equals the area of a rectangle. Oh, that one's off. And so here's the length, and here's the width of this rectangle. And that's going to be 5 times 2, which is 10. Okay, we found this one. And we found out that on a rectangular prism, the back and the front are exactly the same areas. So I have length times the width again, length times the width, 5 times 2, we've got another 10 right here, and we've taken care of the front. Now let's find the area of the side, and the area is length times width again. Here we have length and width. 4 times 2 is 8. And this side is going to be exactly the same, so another 8. Oh yeah, that's what was bothering me. We're still okay, everything's okay. I just forgot to draw the top in. That's what I was missing. The top will be 5. This is top. 5 inches by 4 inches. And they'll have all of this stuff on. I wanted to use a different marker. They're not working very well. So again, this is, we did the front and the back. We did a side and a side. Now we need to do the top and the bottom. Okay, so we've done the front, the back, the side, side. Okay, let's do the top. You're just going to find the area of the rectangle that is the top. 4 times 5 is 20. So we have a 20 here for the top. And we have one last piece is the bottom. 5 times, if that's 4, this has to be 4, this has to be 4. So length times width again is 5 times 4, and it's 20 more. When we find, and for a rectangular prism, always remember that we're going to have 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we just added up. 10 and 10 is 20, 30, 40, 56. And so the surface area, so the total surface area of this, if it was put back together or as a net, is going to be, what did I say, 56, 40, 50, 60, no, 20, 40, 60, 76, silly girl, inches squared, because it's surface area. Area is squared units. Okay, this is the net, and this will look exactly like the nets they give you on the second and third pages, I think. I looked through your worksheets. You should, when I get finished here, be able to work all the way through page 7. Now, the last thing that they're going to give you is they will have an actual prism with the actual measurements on it. So, wrong marker. So let's do a prism here. I'm going to try to do a different prism. Let's do one like this. Prism has 2 bases. They have to be, whoa, a little bit better. Okay, a prism has 2 bases. A prism has to, the bases have to be parallel and they have to be equal to each other. I'm going to put 8 feet. Let's go 5 feet and 12 feet. And they want you to find the total surface area of this. A reminder one more time, the surface area has nothing to do with how much this prism will hold inside. It has only to do with the area of each piece on the outside. Okay, now let's go to your formula chart if you haven't been there yet, and let's see what their formula is and how it relates to what we just did. So it says 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the width times the height. Now you can follow this, but I want you to understand that this is exactly what we've been doing all along. This says I've got a front and a back, got a top and a bottom, and I have a side and a side. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. We're going to be doing exactly what we've been doing when we tore the box apart. So let's do this. Let's just write a little, let's call this one the length. This one, it's 5, that's a 5 feet. And this one we will call the width. And this one we will call the height. And you guys understand why each one of those is the way it is. So we're going to follow the formula. Let me see if I can get it all on here. So surface area equals, here we go, 2 is part of the formula. 2 times, we know that when things are crammed together, it's multiply. So it says take 2 times the length. The length in this case is 8 times the width. The width is 5. Notice that 8 times 5 gave me the area of the base. Do y'all see it? It gave me the area of the bottom. Well, we know that 8 times 5 is also going to give me the area of the top, right? Because we know that the top and the bottom have the same area in a prism. So 2 of those, we took 8 times 5, that was this area. We want 2 of them, that's why there is 2 times this. So what I'm going to do is put top and bottom, just so you can keep track right here. This found the area of the top and bottom for us. Then it says plus. Now we're going to follow the top part of this formula. The 2 is in the problem. The length now, we go to the 8 times 8. When things are crammed together, it's multiply. 2 times 8, and this says the height. So we're going to say 12. Okay? Now if you'll look, 8 times 12, 8 times 12 is going to give us the area of the front. Do y'all see? It gives us the area of the front, and the back area is going to be exactly the same. So that's why we have 2 of them. This is the front and the back. So I'm just going to write this for you. Front and the back. Then the formula says, when I get through with that part, put a plus. So I'm following the formula. 2. Now it says times the width. We're going to call 5 the width. So times 5 times the height. And the height is 12 times 12. And this will give us both sides, side and side, because let's look at it. 5 times 12 is 5 times 12. So that's giving us this side, and we know that the other side is going to be exactly the same. That's why we have 2 of them. Each time we have 2 things that are the same. The top and the bottom are this area. The front and the back are this area. And the side and the side, each side is this area. That's why we have 2 of them. So we're going to finish this up with the mathematics now. And 2 times 40, so surface area is going to equal, this is 80, plus this is, I hope I can do this, 96, 192, I hope. 192 is this, 12 times 96, 192, okay, and that's this answer. And then a plus, 120, which equals finally, when we add those together, we're going to have 200, we're going to have surface area. The total surface area is going to be 392, and it's going to be feet. And because it's area, we have found out that area is 2-dimensional, and so our units are going to be 2-dimensional. So our total surface area for this problem is 392 feet squared. This information, you can play it over and over again. This information should take you through the first 7 pages of the worksheet that I'm getting ready to email you right now. And this will be your lesson for Monday, October the 5th. And I will be back in the classroom on Tuesday, October 6th. Feel free to call or text if you have a problem or if you have a question on what I said. Otherwise, I will see you soon. Enjoy. You know I love you.